Good morning and welcome to Inside Oakwood with Dr. Leslie Pollard. We have another great discussion prepared for you today, thinking about our students and how they're getting prepared for job interviews and things like that. Dr. Leslie Pollard is with us as usual. Good morning, Dr. Pollard.
Good morning, Donna. Good morning. It's a beautiful morning here in the Tennessee Valley. Good
Yes,
morning.
it is. Yes, it is. Do you have a word for us today?
Yes. Again, I want to share the word that we did on the other day, which was from Proverbs chapter 29, uh, chapter 22. Seest thou a person diligent in their business? They will stand before kings and they will not stand before ordinary people. I think we say mean men. It's the King James version of it. The thing that I think about, one of the tasks that we must do is to prepare students not to do ordinary, but to do extraordinary things. And that's a part of what we're trying to do through our career preparation program, our CPI grant, Career Pathways Initiative, through our Career Connection Center, and through all of these services that converge in the life of a student and try to prepare them for success. So I'm grateful that sense of excellence, that calling to excellence, is embedded right within the scriptures itself. That a part of what we must do, higher than the highest human thought can reach, said the founder of our institution. Part of what we have to do is to make sure that our students are equipped and outfitted and trained with the knowledge, the attitudes, and the skills necessary to go out and to make impact, whether they do so as entrepreneurs or whether they do so as employees. We want them to make a difference. We want to take ordinary students and help them do or extraordinary things. That's what we're looking at. So
Yeah.
that's our word of the day. Let's decide that we're not going to just be ordinary. We are going to be extraordinary. That's what Oakwood is called to do.
I like that. And they start working and helping our students be extraordinary from the first day they walk in as freshmen, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. We start them on their career path, and that's a part of what we're going to see today. How how those actual touches work from the point that we recruit a student all the way through to the time that they graduate and are placed. What is it that a university like Oakwood does that touches that student and forms them for that success? And so we're looking at our career pathways initiatives from the first touch of recruitment all the way through to the last touch of placement. And then, of course, alumni relations continues that touch. So that's what we're talking about today, career pathways and how we work them here at Oakwood University.
Wow. So I see you have your vice president here, Miss Cotton here. And tell us, can you give us a little insight on how that works and how it begins at Oakwood? Oh, your mic is not on. There we go. It's not on still. We've been having technical.
There we go. There we go.
Yes. All right. Now, go ahead.
So I think it starts with applying to attend Oakwood University. And up on acceptance, Jorge's team in the Career Connection Center, they kick in. They start out with a career assessment. And so that's how it starts. We give 4 tests the students have to take. Test is not a pass or fail.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just a test to see what are your interests, what are your goals in life. It really helps you develop an individualized career plan. So we like to work with students upon acceptance to do that, not when they get here. We like to start with them at that point so that when they arrive on the campus of Oakwood University, the Career Connection Center can assign them immediately a micro internship in their field. We were talking with some of the students who started with us as freshmen in this program. One young lady is really interested in early childhood development, and she talked about how exciting it is that her first job assignment on campus was working with the Child Development Center. And then another student talked about his goals to be a scientist, and he was one of the lab assistants as his micro internship on campus. So we start you on your career path immediately upon acceptance. And so we're excited about the journey that the Career Center takes you on, from finding out what your career path is, to micro internships, to multiple shadowing experiences, and ultimately either graduate school, entrepreneurship, or a job in the field that you desire.
Wow. So now in this environment of COVID-19, I know that it's changed a little bit. So let's talk to George Bartholomew, who is the Oakwood University Director of Career Connections and Student Employment Center, to find out how we're doing this in this environment of COVID-19. And welcome to Inside Oakwood.
Thank you. Thank you. Even though the pandemic is in, we have about 600 students on our campus. So we begin with the freshman class and those freshman students that reside in the dormitory. So we take them, once they apply, as Ms. Cotton indicated, we receive information as to what they...
Oh, your mic got turned off. George, can you repeat that? There we go.
Encourage them to go ahead and do our focus, which is a career assessment tool based on the student's field of study, what their interest is. We get that information and we immediately get in contact with the academic department and begin placing students in the interest that they want to pursue. Thus far, we have about 200 students participating, and we have converted every job position on our campus. Instead of being a student worker, it's either gonna be and we changed titles, so it's now a lab assistant, a radio announcer, a junior accountant, whatever it is that they're interested in pursuing, we begin giving them titles so that when they're finished and the resume is prepared, it doesn't say a student worker. It does not have a generic title, but it has a professional title for the experience that they're doing on campus.
That I love, because I mean, when I was in college, it was just work study. Like you said, it's just work study. You don't know what you did. You don't know, you know if it actually helped benefit you as far as helping you develop in your career of choice. But that's really good. So now you can put this on your resume as an official work study. What did you call it again, George?
And it's like, we don't even use the word work study.
Okay, what is
it? We actually use the position that the student is doing.
Wow, that's
so
really
changing this pandemic is creating a new environment for us. So we're changing the way we thought of things yesterday and moving forward to a new future. So we don't call it work study. Doesn't matter. We actually use the title of the position that the student is using.
Wow. So how?
And it's called micro internship.
So Don, micro internships.
Yeah.
So the theory, the idea being, I was going to say theory, that sounds too technical. The idea being that the best way to introduce a student to the career of their interest at the moment is to put them in a field where they get a real-time sampling of what it would be like to actually work in that field. Mm-hmm. And so I'm very proud of this program because it's quite innovative. And there's a significant difference. The old work study program, if I can use that term, actually focused on the institution. So it was structured around where the institution may have a need and then plugging students in to work in that area.
Right.
The new micro internship concept says, no, it's not the institution that's the center of the focus. It's the student that's the center. Yeah. And once we understand what the student wants, now let's match the student's interests with the internship opportunities that we actually have on the campus. And that way, yes, the institution wins, but bigger yet, the student actually wins and they begin to start in their career of preference already. And then they may change their mind. They may get there and say, well, I thought I wanted to be a librarian, but having done an internship in the library, maybe I want to do something differently. Or I say, well, yes, I really do want to pursue this. What are the career opportunities beyond my internship experience?
It's interesting that you should say that, Dr. Pollard. Just yesterday, we had a young man that walked in and said, you know what? I don't want to do this field of study. I want to do now health administration. And we connected him with Dr. Brown, who is in charge of the Business and Information Systems Department, so that he can begin making that change now his freshman year, instead of waiting until the sophomore, junior year to discover, I don't want to do this anymore.
Wow, this is really interesting to me because I know Oakwood University has a lot of opportunities, but what do we do if a student is studying or pursuing a career in something that we can't offer? Is that a challenge that you can't place them in a position that is going to help them begin work in their area of study?
We have several students that came in with undecided majors, and we usually place them in based on the focus 2 assessment and our conversation with them. We place them in departments that we think will give them the experience and open their eyes to what they want to see. And of course, we also have the academic advisors that are also guiding students. So students are able early in the school year, especially since they're freshmen, determine what direction they want to pursue. So even though they may not have a major in mind, we try to place them in areas of interest.
Mm-hmm. Now, what if I'm just going off of, can I ask one question about that? So is it just they have to only have positions or only opportunities to work on campus, or do you match them with organizations and business outside of the campus? Is that a possibility? That's an internship, I would say, though.
Right, that is the possibility, but we try to place them first on campus because that's where all the tools are. Usually when we place students off campus, that student have a sense of direction because that's what the organization is looking for. So we try not to place undecided students in internships outside of our campus with organizations that are already pursuing a specifically field of study. We've had one organization that are looking just for communication majors.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want to put a student that is undecided with an organization that has already placed a request stating who they're looking for.
And Donna, we want to say that the micro internship, which is the OU Cares program, is really to help students start on that journey to discovery. And so as freshman students, our goal is to place them internally in a position that they are connected to. As they progress along their path, we have many partners, as Jorge has referred to, that we place students with. SAIC is one of our big partners. We've placed over 150 interns there over the years. They're one of our largest partners. Jorge and his team, they do career fairs every year. And we've had up to 50 different organizations who are looking for real full-time employees as well as interns. And so we've placed our accounting students in multiple internships. The church partners with us. So Advent Health partners with us. Advent Health does quite a few internships for us. We partner with Raytheon, Boeing. We have lots of partnerships. So once you move past that initial stage, Jorge's team is working hard to make sure that you get the internal experience, you get started on that path to discovery. And then as you start to progress, there are multiple opportunities to participate in external internships.
Wow.
Since that has come up, just yesterday, IBM and us made a connection and we setting up a mentorship program. And this came as a result of their IBM participation on our career fairs for the past 2 years.
Okay.
So now we're creating a mentorship partnership to help our students.
What is Go ahead.
Just to go a little further, also, we have partnerships with BB&T Bank. They provide services to our students. Now Truist, Switch. So, I mean, the list really goes on. UNCF, we're partnering with Inroads as well, as Jorge knows, to provide internships for our students. So if you want an internship, Oakwood is the place for you. We start you on the path to discovery, and then we connect you so that you can start with service at Oakwood and then service to the world beyond.
Wow. So listen, I've been talking about this career fair all day today, but are we going to have a career fair? Is there one coming up?
There is one coming up. It's not sponsored by the Oakwood University, so we'll provide further information once we get the details. Our career fair took place last week, Friday. We are in collaboration with 2 other schools, Tougaloo College and Talladega College. Through the UNCF grant, we've been able to create a cluster. So our career fair and all our events now are being done through the cluster.
Mm-hmm. Is that the TOT cluster Can
Yes.
you go into that a little bit more and tell me what that is?
Let's ask Miss Cotton to talk a little
Okay.
bit about the TOT cluster, because she right now is the leader of that cluster. So,
Okay.
Cotton?
Yes, as Jorge mentioned, it's Talladega, Tougaloo, and Oakwood, so TOT with the O in the middle. So we're excited about that collaboration. That collaboration started about 4 years ago. Dr. Pollard's, President Pollard and Dr. Prudence Pollard collaborated with the presidents at Tougaloo and Talladega to write a grant together to the UNCF that was sponsored by the Lilly Foundation. And so Oakwood University and the TOT cluster were awarded over $3 million to participate in building career paths for students. The grant is all about gainful employment. And it helped us establish our office further on campus. And it has led to this great micro internship path. Jorge can talk a little bit more too about the badging. And so badging gives students a certification opportunity. His office is in charge of that. Dr. Karen Ben Marshall, she works on ensuring that certifications are integrated into the curriculum. So for instance, if I decide that I want a degree in health and exercise science, I can also achieve a personal trainer certification along with that. If I decide that I want a degree in business and information systems, as you know, it's very important for students to understand Access and Excel and Word, so they can achieve certifications in those areas. They're in the biology department, people who are interested in research, they can achieve lab certifications. That's all sponsored through the UNCF grant and things that we work on with the TOT cluster. It also helps our faculty, as our faculty learn to be advisors to help students on their career path. And Jorge's team, as they learn to be advisors, there's an advisor certification program that they've all gone through. So this has been a great opportunity for Oakwood University to collaborate with the UNCF and Talladega and Tougaloo. And it's just provided a wealth of opportunities for our students. So we just can't say enough. Dr. Pollard, I have to give him credit. He worked hard to get the cluster together and to keep us together. And so the cluster is strong.
But it's strong, and often, you know, as you make these adjustments, you're working across institutions. You find challenges, right? Like a marriage, right? Right? Yeah. Like a marriage, yeah. Right? You may love each other, but you still have adjustments to make. And so we made those adjustments and have formed a very successful coalition between our institutions. And I want to thank, of course, my presidential partners in this, Dr. Billy Hawkins, who was one of the presidents at the time, and then, of course, Dr. Beverly Hogan, and now Dr. Walters is the new president, and she's just hung right in there too. So it's a wonderful opportunity for families and for students. It's a wonderful opportunity. Coming to Oakwood means that from the first touch to the last, that the institution has bent its resources in order to make sure that your student is successful. And we're right in the middle of giving that message to every person. If I were choosing again today for my daughters, it would be no place other than Oakwood. I mean, it's just remarkable, the advances and the breakthroughs that have taken place. And by the way, Donna, one of your questions triggered reflection. I read that one of the beauties of this micro internship program is when a student, as Mr. Bartholomew mentioned, changes their mind. That's fine, because the average student is going to change their mind 3 to 4 times across their 4-year career.
Wow.
They're going to start off saying, I want to be a physician. Then the average student, they may change and say, well, maybe I thought I wanted to be a physician, but now I want to be something else. I want to be a health administrator. Yes. I like the hospital, but I really don't want to deal with patient care. I remember when my daughter came to Oakwood, she thought for a while that she wanted to be a physician. This is Karen. And we had a similar kind of experience. And she realized that she had a real sensitivity to the sight of blood, right? So she changed her mind and went into pharmacy, right? So, and that's what she's doing today. So my daughter Karen is a pharmacist. But it's these early exposures that help students see, yes, this is for me, maybe this is not for me. And that's one of the beauties of this program that we're running.
Wow. And it's great that it can be flexible like that as well.
Donna,
Yes.
I'd like to get back to a question you asked earlier. I think you asked, what happens if Oakwood does not have an opportunity for the student, the freshman student? And I want to say that's almost an impossibility when you think about all of the different opportunities we have on campus. Our business majors, our management, our marketing majors, we have Oakwood Farms, we have Edible Arrangements, we have the Community Action Center that's opening. We have the Career Center, we have the Entrepreneurship Center.
We have the radio station.
We've got the radio station, we've got OUBN, and just exciting things happening there with our film program and with OUBN. And so basically, if there's a career that you want, Oakwood is a city within a city, and we can get you started on your path to discovery.
Wow. Wow. So I want to go back to the career fair because it already happened. Was it virtual? I'm just curious how that actually took place. And did you do interviews?
It was a virtual event.
Okay.
It was our first time in it because it was also a Todd cluster event. It was challenging. So we are looking forward to the next one that's going to take place in the fall. We'll do definitely much better. We learn a lot. We're trying to move from this face-to-face, person-to-person to virtual. And it's been a challenge.
Okay. So were the students able to do interviews
Yes.
Okay. And they did those, was it one-on-one or group?
They did one-on-one. Yes, several organizations had more than one representative. So students were able to choose a different timing, but it was on a one-on-one basis, but it was done virtual.
Wow, this is
So
great.
for right now, it's a new mode of living.
I know with COVID-19, everything is virtual, and we're just learning, Dr. Pollard, every day how to be very effective with our virtual gatherings and our services.
Oh, we are indeed. I mean, another example of the great work of the Career Connection Center is we did a virtual kind of job fair, career fair for all of our religion majors just earlier in February, where actually the leaders of the different sectors of the church who are looking to hire ministers coming out and graduating from Oakwood, ministers and other religious workers, they actually did the interviews by Zoom and had a wonderful experience. And a number of our students were hired just through that means. So we're in it's a whole new zone that we're operating in. And it's exciting too, because it really does extend our reach in many, many ways. The only thing I would say is I remember that the CEO of Hewlett-Packard, at the time that fax machines came out, made a statement. They said, a fax machine is wonderful, but you can't fax a handshake. So there will never be a complete technological replacement for face-to-face. But there will be augmented face-to-face work, and that's part of why Oakwood is on the front edge of both of those. We need to keep the personal touch. We need to be both high tech and high touch. That's really what we're trying to do. So thank you, Donna, for all these great questions.
Well, all right. Well, I appreciate that, and I know our listeners are appreciating it as well as our seniors. Are they how are they getting ready for graduation and their career after? Is there anything special that we have for them as far as preparing them for their career their last year?
We always have special things. So when you say, is there anything special? Because we didn't talk about it this morning, doesn't mean that we don't have it. So many of our seniors are experiencing the certifications, right, that are taking place. And that's a big part of our Career Pathways initiative. So that when a student graduates, you look at the badging, you look at the credentialing, you look at the certifications. These students have resumes that would make you and I blush because ours just seem so Spartan compared to what the students are experiencing right now. So as seniors are getting ready to graduate, they've been the recipients of many of these experiences, internships, travel. Well, we've cut back on the travel because of COVID, but a whole bevy, a whole menu of opportunities that will make them very attractive, either for graduate school or for employment or for entrepreneurship, because I do want to keep that before us, that entrepreneurship becomes important because many of our students graduate and actually launch their own business, or they launch it while they're here. And we talked about that, I think, earlier in the week.
Yeah. All right. So where can students, where do we direct people, prospective students that are currently at Oakwood University for more information about this and what's coming up? I guess
I'll let my colleagues speak to that.
They can definitely go to the university website. We have a whole section on the OU Care program. They can call the Career Connection Center directly. They can stop by the office. We are always available to assist them in any way possible. My number is 256-726-7134.
All right. Thank you so much. This has been another edition of Inside Oakwood with Dr. Leslie Pollard and special guest. Now, next week, we're going to be talking about women in STEM. So make sure you join us for another edition of Inside Oakwood with Dr. Leslie Pollard.